You're positioning yourself to hot right there.
For mayor.
Do you need an agenda?
Hey, Commissioner Britnam, good to see you.
No, I guess.
You better get going, so I'll still be.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Anybody need an agenda?
Hey, Vivi.
Hey, Vivian, you need an agenda. Anybody need an agenda? Everybody got an agenda?
Did you get minutes?
Ma'am.
No, we don't have.
spare.
Short of him, so.
After the end of this meeting, it'd be good to bring up what you and Melissa worked on the ordinance, and kind of give us, everybody heads up on about the ordinance.
You just throwing me.
Well, I'm okay with even with residential.
We don't have lights on up here.
Huh? Yeah.
Wiring,
Right.
almost like a fire.
Yeah, I can kind of make a mention on the second item.
Now we
I can
have
make
to
a
call, I
mention of
guess, an
that.
electrician.
And then that'll follow in, because I don't have any problem with even in
I don't know.
commercial,
When I was
residential
here,
moving
thing
in
falls
there.
apart.
because
See
I,
what
you know,
happens?
used to live in Pennsylvania, and I saw it in the Main Street.
What's
down
Mary
in
Twitty doing on there?
Work together good.
Let's ask her. Mary, can you hear me?
But I'm always for going down the nose. And you would take a
Right.
heavy load off you guys.
Greg Bowman.
I just make mention of it.
Hi, Vivian. Very nice to meet you.
Sir, you
Welcome.
too.
Oh, mine when I had
Is this your first or second?
No, this is up
Mary, can you hear me?
a third, fourth time to be
Oh, really?
at a meeting, but the sixth
Your
maybe.
husband called. He said that he's gonna be late. He was with his girlfriend at the mall.
Pandemic and everything. People here, not here.
He likes blonde.
When we started meeting again.
Oh, man.
That's what he said. She was blonde.
Hey, I know where I met her not too long ago at a house.
And on that, we need to start the meeting, don't we?
Well, actually, Jeff said he'd be here in about 2 minutes.
Okay, all right.
I will hold the rest of my comments.
That would not be nice, Mary.
I'm guessing this is Jeff.
No, I don't think so.
On his, on her computer.
But
I know. How are you doing?
I'm here. Smell these chairs. I feel like I'm sitting on the floor.
I had to raise mine up.
Jeff's the only one we're waiting on, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it is.
There, that's better.
They can come in, because we got it.
I think so. Let's just go ahead and start without him.
Okay. Her, isn't she?
Then she'll look down next.
That's right.
If he shows up, we'll get Jimmy to go let him in.
All right, I'd like to call the May 10th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting to order. It's a little past, not much past 6:30. But, and we'll have Commissioner Twitty come in during the time. But anyway, opening remarks, I'd like to, just like everybody to know that I'm just really proud of our city clerk, that the job that she's been doing by herself. She doesn't have an assistant. And hadn't had one for quite a while, and I just want to, commend her for all the hard work that she's been doing. It's a heavy load to work a full day and then come to meetings like this at night, and then to type up minutes after that, and especially when we have long meetings and things like that. So again, Susan, I just really want to pat you on the back and commend you for all of your hard work.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not sure I deserve all that. But-
You do.
So if anyone knows anybody who wants a job, we have one.
You do have an assistant clerk job, yeah.
That's
So,
right.
and also, I need for you guys to make sure that when we get to the general items at the end, I'd like to kind of address what coming up would need to maybe change an ordinance a little bit, because there's a lot of issues, and we'll have one. The second item will be a conditional use where we're going for a C2 in a C4 zone, which we always like going down in numbers. Numbers going down is always great. And it shouldn't have to come up to us for a simple item like that. We shouldn't have to deal with those, because those are really kind of no-brainers. Would like, and we're talking, Melissa and Jimmy have been working and looking at our ordinances. Would like to change it, and it was way back during the Dwayne Real days that we changed the ordinance to where any changes would have to come for conditional use. Makes no sense for lower changes to come for us for conditional use. So we'd like to entertain an idea to change the ordinance to where any changes that reduce in number wouldn't have to come before us. So we'll be talking about that a little bit after this. I just wanted to kind of pique your interest before we get started. At this particular time, let's see, William, would you open us in a word of prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, I do just thank you for this day. Just thank you for giving us the opportunity for us to be a part of the city of Jacksonville and the planning commission ourselves. And thank you for all that's being here today. And just give us the strength. And just ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Montgomery. All right, at this time, just ask the clerk to call roll.
Councilmember Deeds,
Here.
Commissioner Montgomery,
Here.
Commissioner Hall,
Here.
Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Brittenum,
Here.
Commissioner Twitty,
Here.
Commissioner Brown,
Here.
Commissioner Boland,
Here.
Chairman Stroud.
Here.
All are present, sir.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. So first item will be a public hearing. It will be for a rezoning. 124 Dennis Lane, it'll be from an R0 to an R6. Petitioner will be the Lovell family. And you guys got the aerial photos in your packet. Before I open the public hearing, I guess that you'll be representing the Lovell family. I just want to, before we get started, just let you know that the altruistic nature of what I read in here is great about taking care of your parents. I understand that. But we're an administrative body that deals with land issues. And so as you come and speak with us, you know, and we open the public hearing for those two and against this issue, just remember we're talking about property all the time, okay, and how the property affects the city of Jacksonville. So keep that in your mind as you go through the conditional uses. And with that said, I'll open the public hearing. So anybody wanting to speak to the issue, come forward and speak at this time.
I'm not really sure what to say.
Okay, yeah, what I was trying to do is, your petition is, you want to go from an R0 to an R6. As a planner, what we do is that, like I started off, going from a higher number to a lower number is really pretty simple. But moving from an R0 up to a higher number affects the properties around you, and not always in a great manner. So what you're doing is presenting to us how your petition for this R6 will enhance the area around you.
Well, the street itself already has had
Yes.
3 or 4 rezonings.
Sir, if I could get you to sit down in front of the mic and
Yes.
speak. This mic over here, the one with the green light.
Yes,
And give
ma'am.
us your name first off.
Tristan Lovell.
It's okay if you want to take your mask off.
Okay. Tristan Lovell. Well, the street itself has already had 3 or 4 rezonings from R0 to R6 to accommodate single wide trailers, but we're looking to put a double wide that's more boxy. It doesn't. It looks like a home, and we own the land. The land's been there empty for quite a while. We're going to clean up the lot. I think it should serve the street well. I guess that's it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, commissioners, let's see, is there anybody else here to speak for it? Okay. All right, is there anybody here to speak against the issue? Okay, while he's here, Commissioner, do you have any questions?
I have a question, probably more than one, but you say you're going, according to your statement here, it talks about, let me see if I can find it here.
It's on page
Yeah.
34.
It shows that you're wanting to put part of it on one address and another part on the other address, another address? Is that right? I'm right here.
Huh.
Right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The lights aren't working, so we're going to get spotlights next time.
Well, I guess I was under the impression it was 2 lots, a 132 and 124. But when I came to get a rezone, they told me it was counted as one meets and bounds. I'm not really sure what that means.
Yeah.
But it's 228 feet along the roadway is the whole thing. And we were going to rezone the final 90 feet towards the intersection.
You're talking about out towards the main road, 161.
Right.
Okay.
Which was formerly 124 Dennis Lane when a
Yeah.
previous resident was there.
Is part of that going to be on there's some concrete slabs out there that look like there used to be a house on it?
That's further towards the roadway.
Okay. My concern is, I pulled up information, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, approximately 7 other houses out there in that area, and I only saw like 2 or 3 mobile homes that look like they've been there for years.
Oh, well, a extended family recently moved down that street, and they put out at least 2 additional ones recently, to my knowledge.
All the way towards the end?
Yeah, all the way at the end.
Okay. I'll have something later. Go ahead.
Okay, Jimmy, do you have anything on this?
I thought we had a picture showing the other homes. It didn't get put in the, looks like I might
No.
have missed that, got put in the agenda. Did y'all have any pictures?
Well, we've
that
got
show-
this aerial, this one right here.
Aerial, yes.
That's all that we have.
Yeah.
It shows some existing mobile homes. I honestly don't know the number of count, but I believe Melissa, correct me if I'm wrong, she on this, there's a mobile home on either side, is that? understanding?
There's a, yeah.
It's a manufactured home right next door. It's zoned R5.
Right.
And there was a mobile home on this site previously,
Yes, there was.
it burned.
Yeah, it was falling apart, and we owned it, so we tore it down.
And that one house that's next to it, is that R0?
The lot to the right was R5, Melissa?
Yeah, an R5, and then next, on the other side.
I
the
don't have
house.
it copy with me.
Okay.
As you're looking at this property that they're requesting to rezone, to the right is R5, which is manufactured homes. To the left is R0.
Right.
And that's single family. It's under the same ownership, however.
Right, and then there's R0, kind of like the fingers around it. So really the way it's blocked off, that's part of R0 all touching together, right? So if I'm looking at it correct, it would be, this is R0, that's R0, and that's R0, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
With R5 just to the east of it.
Yeah, so we have a kind of a spot issue where the R5 is spot zoned there, but we would be doing a spot zone in R6 next to the R5.
That's right.
Well, the way I interpret spot zoning, I think that's when you've got a commercial in the middle of residential. We've got a little bit more leeway in having combined residential.
Well, yeah, but a spot zone is just a zone in general, so, yeah, I mean, you can, but also that zone C1, that's, as you turn in on the, and on the left, the very front, because that's just an open field right now, behind those lay down fence logs.
Right.
It says C1, is that truly, a C1 JAG put in there?
That's the way the legal plots. I questioned that myself when I drew this aerial map to help demonstrate. However, talking with Manny, he says that entire corner is C1. That's gonna require some more research on my part because the legal plot's as you see it there. So I think there's a weird call in that legal, so we may need to correct something on that.
Okay. All right.
Mark, the city owns, some of that property on the right there, I believe, as a city park.
That park, yes, got the
Yes.
cannons and everything?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. And that is kind of amazing too, the way the R6 runs all the way up to the road, but yet it's R0. And inside that R6 is a house there on the street. So, I mean, there just needs to be a lot of cleanup there. But anyway, that's just for later down the road as we're talking. But Commissioner, do you have any other, and I do say this, I've just come back after 10 years. On that side of the road, I do notice that it is a lot cleaner than what it was. I see a lot of progress going on out there.
There has been
Yeah.
a significant amount of cleanup.
Yeah. So, any other questions from commissioners?
Mark?
Yep.
I have a comment though, a little bit, just, I mean, knowing that area pretty well and knowing what's out there, like you said, knowing how it goes out there, I mean, a nice, double wide, permanent double wide like they're making them now, would probably fit in there real well. I mean, you have another family living there and your zoning's, everywhere out there anywhere way. So I think it'd be a good fit out there, and I think it'd be a good fit. I hate that it's the way it's zoned, like you're saying, it's a zoning issue, but I just feel like it's a good fit out there. A nice newer mobile home modular double wide would be really good.
We could at a later date put it on a permanent foundation.
Yeah.
And that is always,
Yeah. I mean,
Is it gonna be on the foundation?
Well, it's gonna have to be moved out there, but I mean, later we could put it on a permanent
yeah,
foundation.
they'd have to
we
set
plan
it up
do
to start with.
Yeah, we don't have the right to tell you you have to, make a condition. Once it's that would be a conditional use where we could say, yeah, you need to put it on the foundation stuff. So that's just something that's possible to happen down the road. What we deal with here is, property issues. And let's say 20 years down the road, the disaster happens, a tornado blows your home away, you decide to move to Texas and this lot's for sale. Now what we'll have here is an R6 in the middle of an R0. And a guy decides, okay, it's R6, I'll bring a regular single wide, slap it in there. The person that, when I drive in that lot, when I drive in that brick house that's on the left, a very nice brick house, those are the type of people that we have to look out for, the R0 homes, because that is really the base and what we're shooting for. And that's why I've noticed on that side of town, less trailers, more houses are moving in. That's the positive trend. And that's the push that we're working toward. Should we start spot zoning things like this, I'm as a chairman, I'm just kind of apprehensive about that's not the direction we want to go. But I don't have a vote on this. I just am just trying to facilitate discussions and have, as many opportunities to look at it from different ways as we can. It's a good point from Commissioner Deeks. I agree. So, the double wides, the way they're looking now, do look nice like homes and stuff. I'm just looking at the land and, things that we can't control that happen 20 years down the road, but that's my job. All right, any other commissions, any other?
Yeah, I have a statement or a question. Maybe Melissa can tell us, or Jimmy. Sometime back, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, or whenever it was, the city put in a code or something like that that said that any mobile homes that are moved into the city have to meet a certain build date. Do you remember that, Susan?
Yes, I do. Anything that was built prior to 1978 was considered a trailer.
Okay.
Anything after that was,
This is a brand new
they
trailer.
started needing,
They had to meet housing, HUD requirements.
Yes, HUD requirements, I couldn't think for a minute.
It says a brand new trailer is being
Yes.
brought in.
Yes.
Could be an issue there if it's new.
Do what?
It's new.
It's brand new.
mentioned.
It's a
Okay.
double wide.
Yeah.
It'll have
Yeah.
to be, it's gonna be brought on and then joined later.
Well, that was my question to be, is it a new double wide?
Yes.
So it's built
Okay.
to HUD standards.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I know we had that some time ago. We had several trying to bring in some trailers, if you will. And I'm not saying you were, but we have to watch that very carefully.
There's not many things left built prior to 1978.
And we even had, yeah.
In El Paso, yeah. All right, commissioners, do you have any other questions or comments this time?
I agree that putting R6 in a mainly R0 zone is complicated in the future. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right, I entertain a motion at this time.
Well, I'll move that we approve the rezoning.
Okay, got a motion to approve, got a second?
I will second it.
Okay, got a motion and second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there any opposed?
No.
Okay, we have one opposed, so the motion is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, and the next item on the agenda will be a conditional use. It's 2607 TP White Drive. It's a C2 use in a C4 zone. Petitioner will be Angela Gray. And at this particular time, well, there you are. I thought you was on the last one, my bad. So at this time, come up and let us know about the conditional use that you're asking for.
Okay. My name is Barry Hoffman with Hoffman Architectural. I'm here representing Dr. Angela Gray. We are requesting conditional use to build a new dental office on Lot 4, Madden Addition, 2607 TP White Drive. It is currently zoned C4.
Okay, which is dropped down to a C2. Yay, okay. At this time, do you have anything, Jimmy, to add?
No, sir, this is one of the items that, we wish to change where we can allow to drop down without coming to commission.
Yeah, good
So
point.
we don't see no issues with it.
Good point, and that's what we'll be talking about after this is all done. Okay, commissioners, you have any questions?
Where that billboard is that where it's going to stay?
I'm sorry, sir.
The billboard, is that where it's going to stay at this time? Because was it a trucking company? Was it something,
Yeah.
a truck?
They're very close in proximity on that little strip of land there. Melissa, could you tell me the distance between Miss Gray and the billboard?
It's a couple hundred feet. This is the property directly north of the vacant lot next to Bond Engineering, where the billboard sign that was at the previous Board of Adjustment meeting, that's on up towards the north
Okay,
by a couple hundred feet.
okay.
The building's to the furthest north, I believe.
Yeah, it's right, Bond would be next to it, joining it, and then it's the next lot over. Yes, right where right before the trucking place used to be in the school, yes.
Okay,
Side is
okay.
versus-
I just looked at it wrong.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got, we got, yeah.
All right. Okay, any other questions, comments, thoughts, ideas?
Make a motion, we approve.
Thank you very much.
I
Commissioner.
second.
Oh, man, jumped on that like a duck on a June bug. Okay, I guess all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And there are no opposed. Passed. You guys did good.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now we move on to the
Dr. Gray.
last item of on the agenda. That'll be the last item on the agenda will be a conditional use. be for 205 Dupree Drive. It'll be a C3 use in a C2 zone. Owner will be Linda Alexander, and the petitioner will be Tanya and Timothy Gibson. At this particular time, would he come up and speak to the issue about why you need a conditional use for a C3 and a C2? Hi there. Go ahead and sit and give your name and let us know.
Tanya Gibson.
Timothy Gibson.
Okay.
Want to open up a mechanic shop on the shop part, and my wife is licensed cosmetologist. She wants to open up a cosmetology shop, but on the salon right beside. The building is kind of separated, has a hallway, walkway in between them. And we want to basically for me now for the mechanic shop.
Okay, yeah, well, what we do, like, again, as an administrative part, we need to know why you want to put that type of business there, because it's a C2 zone. In other words, it's a quiet business zone, so a mechanic shop doesn't fit that type of zoning. And so we need to know why, what is it about the property, what is it about that place that, you know, you need to have us to give you a conditional use for that.
Well, it's pretty a good location. A lot of traffic through there. It was a detail shop there before, and you're kind of new at this. I'm kind of nervous.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I do a lot of work for Gwatney. I help deal with Gwatney Chevrolet a lot, and I do a lot of LS swaps. And I'm prepared for this. So.
Well, I'm trying to make it simple as I can. Yeah, what we're needing, you know, from you to help us in, is that the reason a C3 is more, what's the word?
More industrial, maybe, more commercial.
Yeah, can you understand, like a car repair shop, there would be tons of cars parked there, there would be parts everywhere, there would be, it would be a little more congested type. So that area is zoned for more quiet business district. Now, the beauty salon that she does, it fits there. C2 is not a problem. I mean, you can have your beauty shop all fine, but the area or the zone that you're asking for is the next level up that's not in that area. And so why should us as a board consider putting more congestion in an area where we've zoned it to be less congestion? That's basically what we need.
Yes, it's only a two-bay shop. Minimum, I'm not going to have cars like stacked there. It's only going to be me, so it'll be no more than 5 cars there, 2 more in the shop at a time. I got older, so I'm not wanting to do a whole bunch of work, but I have the time there to dispose of everything, the oil and the antifreeze. I'm already certified to do ACs. And I have some proper machinery to do that as well. So,
No, that's good. You're doing real good, because again, what you were saying was you don't want a lot of cars there. And see, we have the ability as commissioners, whenever we allow conditional uses, to put a condition on the use. In other words, we could limit the number of cars that you could have there. We could do things like that to try to meet you halfway. But what we do as commissioners, we try to ask questions and come up with an idea, because we don't deal in the ideas of, I'd like to. The old adage is this in planning commission work. The old adage is that we're not here to try to get the best value out of a piece of property. If we would, then we wouldn't have any residential houses here, because that's not the best value. You know, it'd all be commercial. We'd just be putting commercial everywhere. What we're trying to do is to get the best fit for the overall city, and we want this to blend in well. So you're doing a very good job with explaining that, and you know, about it not wanting to be very busy. And so, commissioners, you know, if you have any questions, and feel free to continue to expand upon it, but I think you're doing an excellent job.
So Mark, a question, I guess that right there, that building that you're talking about is used to be a time to shine? So it was, a lot of cars were there all the time, because I do get my car done there quite regularly. So it was, there's a two bay, you know, is all there is, and there's another building there. So they had 6 or 8 cars at some times, you know, and you know, I know what's around it, so you know, based on that, it wouldn't be unusual to be that, you know. Now, you know, we have a noise ordinance too, you know. If you start revving them up and racing, you know, then we'll have to put you in jail.
Well, I think they.
His wife will take care of that.
I think they were the time to shine that moved over to the thing. So what we're saying is that now we have that amount of cars moved over, and then we're going to have another group of cars, and so we're increasing it. So.
What about, Mike, is it, it's close to Walker's Radiator, is it not?
Yeah, Walker's right down the road. And
Close to the chamber.
yeah,
Right.
it's.
Well, it's originally a Deep Rock station.
Yeah, it's across from the chamber, I think, isn't it?
That's
Urban
what it's
Deep
all
Rock.
from Deepwood, so I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
It's always been
So-
a service station or automotive type business.
Right.
And I've also, I've been a mechanic for about 30 years. I've worked 13 years at Agro and Deepwood, John Deere. I'm actually a diesel mechanic. So I kind of know how they made us clean up and keep everything in order. When I first moved here, I worked at Diamond International out there on 440. So I had like 5 or 6 years there. Then I went to Ryder. So I've been in environments like that. We had to clean up, and I know how to do it. And I'm just a little older and just kind of want to do something.
Older and wiser.
To help my wife, man. Yeah, wiser. Try to do one.
So you want her to work harder? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm nervous, but I'm.
So as you a mechanic, is it going to be tear down, break down engines and all that jazz? Or, I mean, help me out.
I do a lot of LS swaps, so those are small, like longer projects. So once I put it in the shop, I take the newer motors and put it out with the cars. So it's.
But all of it will be inside the shop, correct?
Yes. I've kind of jumped the gun a little bit. I've already bought a lift and everything, so it's trying to go in there right and do everything as I'm supposed to do. So, and I've already, like I said, I have a couple of car lots out in Sherwood. Everyone drives. Watson's Pond. I've been helping those guys, and I do most of the stuff there. Sherwood Imports. I work on the Mercedes as well, and I'm pretty much mobile, so I'm kind of still be moving around with my projects.
But you won't have more than 5 at a time. You won't have more than 5 cars, you said?
In between five and six maybe at the most. I might have 2 in the shop and maybe 2 or so. I'm not gonna have a lot of property outside. It's a lot of traffic through there, and I don't want anything to happen to anybody's car, so I'm not going to schedule. I'll schedule them off, but not just pile them up because there's too much traffic through there. As we've been cleaning up over there, it's a lot. I just usually pass through, but now since I'm there cleaning up and trying to get it together, I see people, foot traffic a lot, and I just don't want to have a lot, be responsible for too many people's property, maybe getting something happen to it there. So I don't have a lot of cars there.
I think the biggest concern that Mark was talking about is we have a couple places in town where the vehicles are jacked up outside. They've been sitting outside. Some of them are wrecked vehicles sitting out there on blocks. And I had an incident in Stonewall where a guy had a truck in his driveway, and he was pulling the motor out in the driveway of the house, which is not authorized. So we're kind of watching out for those things in the city so that it doesn't bring, you know, a problem with the people around, especially you have some housing around that area and the churches down the street. So.
Yes, sir.
Well, this is conditional use, is it not? So could we not put that in the motion that no more than 5 to 6 cars at a time be allowed at the
Yeah,
location?
we could. We're going to talk to that too. You're wanting to put a salon inside with it?
Yes, the building is separated. There's a small hallway that separates the actual garage from the building.
But they have the same parking lot.
Yes.
Okay, so if we're talking about cars and things like that, it's kind of keep in mind, how many clients do you have project to have at a time with your business at the same point?
Well, I'll be a one-chair salon,
Okay.
starting off, so.
All right, so
just-
2 cars.
Yes.
Okay, so anything that we consider, we also need to consider a couple extra cars for the extra businesses in there. Just throw that out there too. But you're right, yeah. Okay, any other questions, thoughts, or comments? Commissioner Britton, you're thinking deeply, I know.
Well, I was just thinking that if they keep it to a minimum, you know, in the conditional use, I don't think it would really cause a big problem with congestion because, you know, the time to shine guy, I had my car detailed a couple of times and he had 7 or 8 sometimes. So, I just don't see why it would really cause a big problem.
Okay.
So you could put a maximum on it, which would make it a maximum. But you know, that lot's plenty big enough the way it sets up over there that you can get 10 or 12 vehicles plus 2 real easy. The way it sets on there and not affect anything. So you could put a maximum marking. So that you would collect sales tax, right? That's what I'm wanting to make sure we're gonna get sales tax on both of them for revenue for the city.
And now I'll go through that speech again about how we don't look at the value of the property from a commercial standpoint. But anyway, I'll set that aside. All right, are there any other questions or comments this time? You did a great job. Thank you very much. This time I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion to approve. Are there any conditions?
I'd amend the motion that we make no more than 10 cars at a time.
Okay,
We
is
can
it
hold
okay?
that to there.
You accept the
That'd be all right,
I
Tim?
agree. I
Okay,
agree.
so we have a motion to have a limit of 10 cars, but to accept the conditional use. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, everybody understand it? We'll have a second?
Second.
Okay, you have a motion to second then, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, are there any opposed? There are none. Job. Okay, at this particular time, I'd like to just take a little time to say that what we're talking about going forward, and I'd just like to get the input from the.
Yeah, y'all can, y'all.
Oh, you're good to go. Yeah.
Yeah, from us, yeah.
Thank you very much. You did a good job.
I would also like to say, it doesn't matter, it kind of touched my heart when you said the prayer. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Williams,
Good
prayer
luck.
warrior.
Good luck.
All right. Yeah.
Welcome to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
From DeWitt.
So anyway, what I'd like to get is a little bit of conversation back and forth with Jimmy and get an idea about moving forward with allowing them to write up a proposal for an ordinance for the city council to approve a modification to the order that anything that goes lower in a classification does not have to come before us. And that, you know, does everybody understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then I just,
If we don't go down, then no big deal.
yeah.
If you go from like a 2 to a 1 or a.
That's fine.
It's R6
Right.
and it goes
If it
to
goes, yeah,
R5,
from
then
like an
we-
R2 to an R1, it wouldn't even come before them. It would come before them,
Well,
but it would just be a
has
quick,
to come
just.
before
We would issue a building permit
Right.
without any variances or
That
changes.
makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
It's changing the permitted
Uses,
uses
correct.
from the conditional uses.
That'd be a correct statement.
And so we would, if that's the case, there is an item on the agenda that we had tonight that wouldn't even be here. So that architect wouldn't have had to been here, the petitioners wouldn't have had to been here, and Jimmy wouldn't have had to been here and all that, so.
Yes.
The only thing I would add, if you would, just, what's the objective? Overall, what would be accomplished by doing that?
Okay, the objective is that it's so streamlined, it'll streamline what we basically do here. It will be it'll just be,
I think what you're trying to say is basically anytime you're jumping down, there's no reason we're gonna have a big objective to it.
right,
Objection,
right.
I mean,
There should be no hurdles to clear because you
No.
go from an R2 or R3 down to an R1.
Right, there should never be
because
an
it's
issue
way
with
below
that.
the limits of what we've already set for that zoning area.
Yes, yeah. The only catching point, and this would be something that Jimmy can speak to, is that he has a concern, and I can see that concern, is there is an issue in a C1, right? Is it C1 where a conditional would be you could put some residential in there?
Yeah, along highway, the commercial along highway,
Yeah.
I had a little bit of
C4,
concern of allowing residential in there. It goes back to that planning thing.
Yeah.
That may not be that may need to go before the board. That would be controversial.
Yeah.
You're saying go from a C1 to an R classification?
No, what he's saying is that that's one of the things that would be allowed to pass. It would be just like going down. It would be, he'd just build a permit. So if it was like a commercial, a C4, and then somebody wanted to put a R0 in there, if we were to pass it carte blanche and say that, yeah, that's lower, it wouldn't.
Well,
it would
you're
never come.
changing classification, so I think you just need to write it up so it stays within the classification. If you're going from R to C, then yeah, it needs to come before us.
If you go to R to C, that's up, but if you go
from
C to R, yeah.
either way, you're changing classification, that needs to come before us too.
Well, and
But if you're going from R6 to R01, yeah, or C4 to C1, no.
Not a big deal there. 'Cause
But-
there's no hurdles to clear then, because
But-
you're lowering your restrictions.
Yeah, but I do want you to know that I lived in Pennsylvania, and there is there is a lot of there was back in the day there was a lot of revitalizations of townships, and they brought residentials back, and they set them on top of commercial businesses downtown Main Street. So that's overlay type stuff that we're talking about. And if we're not really, really opposed to that, which I see that there's good reason for not to be opposed to it. It is good. I don't think there's any problem with putting residentials in commercials like that. So I just brought that up to let you know that, that's one of the things that would be. But personally, I don't see any problems with putting residentials there.
I'd like to go a step further. Let's just say a dentist office or an insurance agent that's been there for years, and another dentist comes in, or an insurance. I don't think that they should have to come to get another conditional use if that's what it's been. It's going to be a continuation of the same business.
Well,
Yeah, that one.
Well, if it's an insurance agent, let's bring it before the board.
I got you.
Conditional uses are tied to the person, the person that we gave the conditional use to. So if that person leaves, they have to come before us,
Okay.
and we have to keep that in the ordinance. We're just talking about the zoning classifications and going down in those. And that's why, I just threw that out there about the commercial and residential, because if we did it carte blanche and said, yeah, we can do them all, drop them down, then residential would creep into commercial. I don't see a problem with that, but, we can write it to where it would just be only classification specific, like you were saying. Just be aware that there are some instances where residential would creep in commercial. And there's only like, what, 2 or 3, isn't there? There's only 2 or 3 into the whole thing.
We approved some on TP White Drive just a month ago.
And we did.
A house that was pre-existing,
Yeah.
James White's place.
Been there forever.
Right.
Right. And it's
So-
been there for years.
So you can see there's really not a problem with it, but I just want to make everybody aware of that situation. I don't think it would be a problem.
A good example of that, Mark, for everybody would be some time ago, a few years ago, there was talk about putting some single type individual apartments or whatever on top of, where the flea market is on Main Street and all that. It used to be Chambers Drug and all that. Talking about, allowing the owner maybe, or someone putting single type, young adult type things like they're doing in Little Rock above commercial.
Yeah.
We do have an existing. We do have
Yeah.
an existing mixed use zone.
Mixed use
We
zone
do,
right
yes,
now.
Susan, as she spoke,
Yeah.
we do have that mixed use zone right now.
Yeah.
And that area, I believe, has already been, is allowed to be mixed
It
use.
has its boundaries, it's
Yeah.
laid out and
Yeah,
everything else. So
yeah.
we do have.
And in effect, this is kind of what we'd be doing, is expanding that, I think,
Right.
personally. And I think we'd be doing it logically, because I still say that we waste a lot of time and energy by doing what's no-brainer things. I hate to use that term,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. By doing things that we really shouldn't have to do, because going down in classification is always a good thing, in my estimation.
Automatic approval.
Agree.
Yeah. So,
I will draft something up and bring it back for the body, for y'all's approval.
Good idea.
okay, all right. Well, thank you guys for your time, guys and gals, for all your time. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Hey, I know you've been busy.
We'll catch you.
Remember that Emma Street
Anytime.
thing?
Man.
You say,
He called me again.
oh,
Because I remembered